Since you have already clicked to accept the liability statement for this project, you are at the beginning of the videos piece of the project. This is a project of the Human Gait Institute and not a publication of Dynamic Bracing Solutions. You found it on the Human Gait Institute website, so you already know about the focus of the organization. It is important to read through the narrative in order to have a complete picture of this material. The narrative and the videos need to be used together in order to obtain optimal benefit. Tips and Insight project was developed because myself and the other board members noticed that a lot of people were having a pretty hard time learning to use these braces. I have been a physical therapist. I'm retired for many, many years, and I wear a Dynamic Bracing Solution AFO and KFO since 2009. I had polio in 1953. We put the project together to offer a developmental perspective on learning to use the braces. And this includes a review of early development of walking-related persons with differing walking patterns. The best way to use this project is to look at it as 3 integrated parts: the narratives, the videos, and the PowerPoint. The narrative has the most detailed material. The videos parallel the narrative to some degree and should not be used one without the other. The narrative contains all the information you need. The video does not contain all the information. The PowerPoint and Keynote is a summary of the videos. This was meant to benefit new wearers of Dynamic Bracing Solutions braces and long-term wearers who are wanting to update their skills. There's a possibility that it also will help wearers of other types of braces. There is a section in the narrative about what Dynamic Bracing Solutions are, and it shows pictures of the brace and its components. It defines the AFO, or ankle-foot orthosis, and the KAFO, or the knee-ankle-foot orthosis. You are able to look at the differences between the DBS braces and conventional braces and realize that this is a 5-piece system. Then there's information on some of the fabrication details. The purpose of the Tips and Insights project is to supplement and expand on the video your orthotist gave you to use for training to use the DBS braces. It's also to assist you in attaining your goals for use of the braces and to offer a different perspective from the recommended instruction and have the goals still remain the same. So your goals of the Tips and Insights would be that they would help you break down the recommended activities to smaller components so that you can master them, help you learn to trust the brace, provide activities to retrain your brain in a new way to move, encourage you to take your time in this process, to be safe and know when you are fatigued. And there is more detail on this in the narrative. The realities of trying to use these braces are that some of these activities may not work for you at all. Another reality is that you never, ever compare yourself to another person. We are all very, very different, and there's nothing about any of us that is the same. It's also a reality that you must commit to the process in order to reach your goals. There are other realities that are listed in the narrative. There is an overview of learning to use the DBS braces. One of the pieces of the overview is that you really must do 1,000 repetitions of an activity correctly in order to retrain the brain. Your practice sessions must be short because you cannot get into fatigue. For your best outcome, do the activities in the order presented. Pause each video as you go through and practice them in front of a mirror. This work is yours to do and no one else can do it for you, but you can receive support for doing it from a friend, a physical therapist, a trainer, someone like that. And there are more points to this overview in the narrative. Before getting started, there are some tips to use. Always start in the optimal standing position. Head and shoulders always held in midline. Start with your feet farther apart and gradually bring them closer together. Really want to see symmetry in all the movements that you do. So if one side can go farther to the other, you want to limit it to what the other side can do. And your goal would then be to have symmetry on both sides. You want to do the activity slowly with control, then move to a medium speed and a fast speed. If you have contractures or tightness in some areas, they may need to be reduced in order for you to be successful. And always be safe. There are more tips before getting started in the narrative. For those wanting a description of a typical walking pattern, it is in the section under normal gait pattern of the narrative. It is also described in the heel strike video. From here, you can go to the videos to see what material they contain. And be sure to read through the narrative section for each video as you go through this project.